police are investigating a virtual rape after a girl was attacked in the metaverse. So I guess that there's not enough attention going around in the real world for these girls. They're resorting to claiming virtual rape, which is something that just can't happen. The 16-year-old victim, first off, there was no victim. You can't be a victim when you just take the headset off and it's over. So this is just language to frame the narrative. But anyways, the 16-year-old wasn't physically harmed in the attack, which took place in the VR, but she is reportedly mentally shaken after the experience. And if you're that mentally shaken, that's on you. You just take off the headset or leave the chat room. That's like all these women out here that false claim, well, he beat me up, but then there's texts that come out later that show that you wanted it. You let this happen. You could have stopped it at any time. Because that's like suing a director for mentally damaging you during some violent movie. Even though you're the one that paid for it and sat through it, you could have just stopped it at any point or left. That's just self-induced trauma that you put yourself through, and you have no one else to blame. The article continues, the child, there we go again, framing it like she's some 8-year-old girl that couldn't do anything. It's actually crazy seeing the mental gymnastics that Virginia is putting us through to just frame it like she was the innocent victim. Like this is anywhere comparable to the real life thing. But that's the whole point of this article, because they want this virtual rape to be seen as real and actually more heinous than the real thing. Because once they get the normies on board with that, then they can finally start prosecuting people. And I'll say it here first, you're going to see it one day. Someone's going to get more time and a harsher punishment for doing a VR rape than an actual one. But anyways, the child was wearing a headset during the confrontation, during which her avatar was attacked by several men in a virtual room. And I don't know what attacked means. You can get attacked in Minecraft. Pretty much most games you can get attacked. And unless this girl literally only plays walking or dating sims, she should be pretty used to getting attacked, as pretty much every game has you opposed against whoever, and they either have to use guns or whatever means in the game to stop you from achieving the objective. So this attacking narrative doesn't exist. And this just leads to my earlier point that you just take the headset off and it's over. Let's continue. While she wasn't physically injured, police say that the victim experienced trauma similar to that of people who have been sexually assaulted. And I don't know how you make that comparison, because there's no one that can rip off her clothes. There's no one pulling at her. At most, there's only people that can stand in front of her and block her from moving around. And at that point, you just leave and join another server or come back at a different time. And it's funny that she has no real screenshots or any images of this, even though she easily could have taken one. And you know why that is? Because it looks so goofy that people would just laugh it off, and there would be no article written about her. It would just be an image or a video of her blocky player being surrounded by a bunch of other blocky players, and with no real context of it, the younger generations would just assume it's a bunch of trolls just blocking her from moving, and the boomers would have no idea what is going on in that. It continues, the child experienced psychological trauma similar to that of someone who has been physically raped. And it's so funny how hard these people are trying to tie to the physical thing. These people want it so badly to be the real thing. And this should really be a warning to all you guys out there, that the media will try to spin anything against you. Because look how hard they're trying to make this thing, where it was basically just a bunch of guys blocking this girl from moving around and maybe throwing fake punches at her or whatever. I don't know. I've never played the metaverse, so I really don't know what can go on in there. But I know definitely not rape. But the media are trying to spin so hard that it's rape. So you really have to watch yourself. It continues with, there is an emotional and psychological impact on the victim that is longer term than any physical injury. It poses a number of challenges for law enforcement given the current legislation that is not set up for this. And of course it's not set up for this, because first off, nothing happened. And honestly, stuff like cyberbullying has been around forever, and no one's really tried to stop that. And you know why that is? Because you really can't. Because unless you're going to implement some sort of way to only log in with your government ID, nothing's ever going to change. It's the way the internet's always been. And that's why the police could never do anything, because it's so hard to track people down with this, when most of the time you can just shut it off. And yes, there are real things that happen from people saying stuff on the internet, but most of the time it's just two losers yelling at each other, and nothing's going to happen. And that's exactly what's going to happen with this. Nothing. But that doesn't mean in the future that things can't change, especially with women not getting enough attention in the real world, so they're going to drum it up in the fake one. The last little bit of the article says, while most details about the case are kept under wraps to protect the underage victim, this marks the first time the UK police have ever investigated a virtual sexual offense. And a spokesperson for Meta came out saying, this kind of behavior described has no place in our platform. This is why for all users we have an automatic protection called personal boundary, which keeps people you don't know a few feet away from you. So it looks like that Meta already took care of this problem, having some sort of protection that stops people from getting right up on you. So she was either unaware of it or had it disabled. So it looks like that she created this whole problem herself. But the way this article ends is what really should interest you. as Ian Cleashley, the National Police Chief's Council Child Protection and Abusive Investigation Lead, says the metaverse creates a gateway for predators to commit horrific crimes against children, adding, "Our policing approach must continually evolve to enable us to relentlessly pursue predators and safeguard victims across all online spaces." And this should be the most alarming thing about this whole article, that these people want to be able to hunt you down and arrest you for mean words or because you stood in someone's way too long. And the whole stupid thing about this is that this is already taken care of. These problems don't exist. Meta already took care of this with their personal boundary thing, which is already probably automatically on, meaning she most likely had it turned off. So this problem was her own doing, and nothing was stopping her from turning it back on. But there's no story in that. And second, usually in servers or chat rooms or whatever, there's usually some sort of admin that you can report problems or people that are harassing you. So there's already self-policing for this. We don't need the government police. And I wouldn't be surprised that we're going to see more articles like this, because now with most people being online, the government can't wait to have a social ID system, just like in China, so they can see and watch everything you do. And they'll use women like this as the vehicle to get it, because once enough of these virtual rape and harassment cases get pushed around, it will be enough to convince the normies that, hey, maybe we do need some online policing. And they'll push it on through, and those stupid mouth breathers will have no idea how much freedom they just lost trying to defend people from made-up cases. And that's the whole point of articles like these, so they can make an emotional appeal to people, and they know that there's enough dummies to fall for it, so they can start up a social credit system to sanitize the internet, and they're going to use women's tendency to be a victim and men's natural inclination to be a white knight to get it.